welcome to Inspiring Inkin. I'm Amanda Fowler. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's Tuesday the 15th of September, I think. I'm just going to check here on my iPad, make sure I'm live and in the right place. Let's see, shall we? It's always a good plan to check. If you're here, can you say hello? No, that's completely the wrong page. Yeah. No, that's complete. Perfect. Okay, so hooray, hooray. Right, how are we doing on this glorious Tuesday afternoon? I appreciate I'm a minute or two late, so I will give everyone a minute to catch up with me. I will tell you a tale why I'm a couple of minutes late in a minute. So how are we doing? Okay, so Michelle is here, Julie's here, Roz is here, Belinda's here, Jen's here. Yeah, I'm really well, thanks Julia. And good afternoon, Roz. And Roz says good afternoon to you all. And Nicola's here as well. Fantastic. So how are we all? What have we been doing since we last caught up? I know, it's a whole week. It's been a whole week. It's been kind of a weird week. We've had all sorts of celebrations and things going on, so I'll tell you all about that in a minute, but let's just see who else is joining us. And I've got hiccups now. And can you hear the sirens going? Yeah, I think today might be a noisy day. We've got the waterboard digging up the road one street over, and there's lots of sirens been going this afternoon. I wonder if there's a problem on the motorway. You might be able to pick up those. Now, a few people have said they have been struggling with some of the volume on my videos, and I'm not entirely sure what's causing it. So I've got a microphone heading its way, so hopefully that will help the volume. But if you are struggling, please do check on your settings. I've had a few people that they've just adjusted their settings a little bit, and that has helped. So I'm really sorry if my videos haven't been easy for you to hear, but hopefully it will be sorted very soon, and that's why I'm a bit closer to the camera today. So hi Jackie, hi Maureen, hi Jeanette. Jeanette's here from Australia, thank you very much. South Cerney, that's where Chris is. And she's on the lakeside. Fabulous. Okay. So, I want to know what you've been doing. So, I know a lot of the kids have gone back to school. A lot of the grandkids have gone back to school. So, some of you might be finding that you've actually got a bit more time than you've had for the past, I don't know, 6 months. It's crazy, isn't it? 6 months the kids have been off. And, you know, what are you doing? Has anybody been out and about? Obviously, Chris is currently on holiday. Have you been creating anything? Have you were you inspired by my crazy blanket last week? And have you got your crochet or your knitting out? So I just want to know, tell me what you're doing, because that's really cool, and then I can share that with everyone too. Roz has made 90th birthdays for her aunt, and she's posted another 6 cards off and another 3 cards underway to post this week. That is awesome. Yes, so if you're popping in for the first time, during September we are all on a mission to send the cards that we are making. I felt that, you know, so many of us make cards, but actually we need to send them. They need to be free out in the world to make somebody smile. So with that in mind, I do have a few to show you today. And so this one actually, Roz, we're just talking about you. This is from Roz. Isn't that lovely? It's really cool technique she's done on there. I'm just looking. Roz, what's the technique? How did you make that? It's very lovely. Oh, that's from Rosie, which is really lovely. This one is from Sally. And this one is from my mum, otherwise known as Pauline. She's just arrived. That's funny. I don't know. It has shown the little. It's a curtain. I just saw in my eye line that something moved. And it's like, oh, there's nobody in the house with me today. Brian's in the office. And it's like, what's that? But it's a curtain. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. It's just a curtain. It's because I've got all the windows open. Julia is sending 12 birthday cards this month. Jen has been making beaded handbag charms to attach to the folding paper bags you've made. Oh, that's fab. We need to see pictures of those. So Roz has been doing alcohol inks on her gel press. That sounds very fancy. Brilliant. Okay, so there are my lovely cards. So what's been happening in my world this week? Well, as I told you last Tuesday, Wednesday was my 31st wedding anniversary. So bless Brian. We've been together 33 years, but married 31, which is amazing. So we went out to a local sort of garden, really, over towards Romsey, and we just had the best day. We were just walking around, chatting about the plants and the trees and designing stuff for our garden, and we had a lovely lunch. We did a bit of garden centre shopping and ate cake, and we had takeaway, and yeah, we just had a really, really relaxing day, which was fabulous. It was a shame it was only a day and it wasn't a week. I am determined to get a holiday in at some point, but the odds are stacked against me at the moment. But we just really, really had a lovely day. It was amazing. And one of the really funny things about that was that evening, if you've been here with us chatting before, you'll know that we've been building a patio in the back garden, and we wanted like a cast iron heavy metal set, like a table and some chairs. And you know, we love to recycle and upcycle stuff, so I've been looking through Facebook ads and eBay and buy and sell groups and all sorts of stuff. And whilst we were deciding what we were going to eat, Brian said, have you checked Facebook this week? And I went, no, I haven't. And up popped a perfect cream table and 2 chairs. So I messaged the lady, and she lived 5 minutes from our house. We went, we bought it, and we've got it. So that was kind of like an amazing anniversary present, because it's just perfect. You know, you get an idea in your head of what you want. Well, it was that, and that was really lovely. So that's really cool. So that was kind of Wednesday, and then the end of the week, and this is why I'm giggling about me being a couple of minutes late. I was sorting out some of my to-do list. Sorry, I'm going to cough again. Please don't panic. It's allergies. Yeah, so I get hay fever, but I kind of get hay fever from March to like December. So at this time of year, there's the leaves are falling and there's dust and pollen and stuff in the air, so I end up with a cough or a sneeze, or yeah, so don't panic. I'm fine. Yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, my to-do list. So last week I wrote my to-do list and it was 2 sheets of A4, which is like 70 items, and that was just stuff I need to do in the next 2 weeks, and that was just work. So it's not, you know, like the day-to-day stuff like getting the shopping and walking the dog and, you know, making food and cleaning or any of the kind of householdy things. It wasn't any kind of big picture things, redesigning stuff, training, learning, any of those things. It was purely, what do I need to do in the next 2 weeks? Very long list. So the reason that I was nearly late was because I was rejigging my list. So tell me I'm not the only one that does that with the to-do list, kind of reprioritising lists. So yeah, so it's okay. I think I've crossed off about 20 items from the list since I wrote it, so it is getting smaller. But you know, it's a big list. It's a big list. So do share any to-do list nuggets that you have, any time saving, or you know, if you've kind of bottled something that will give me an extra 4 hours in the day, I am up for that. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at all the comments. Jeanette is sending cards to her mum in Devon so she can make room for more. That's awesome. Jackie's been making cards to friends and family. An aunt who is 90 in Scotland. Sadly, a few sympathy cards. Thinking of you cards. I don't think you can share pictures on a live, Jackie. I don't think you can only kind of comment. Yeah, you can only comment. So the best thing to do is to put them in the Inspiring Inkin Crafting Corner group. I think you remember over there. So put them in there and we can see them there. Shares here. And Angela's here, and Karen is here as well. Awesome. So I am awaiting your to-do list expertise, or somebody who's, you know, designed something that's gonna help me with time management. To be honest, it's funny. I've been working for myself for a very long time, and I actually know an awful lot about time management. I train my team on time management, which kind of sounds a bit crazy, but I think sometimes we all get to a point where the list is just so big, but you know, I break it down and I pick 3 things and I work on 3 things, and then when I've done those 3, I move on. But sometimes, you know, life just gets in the way, doesn't it? But yeah, it's a busy, and so many people are busy. So I'm not really complaining. I'm very happy to be working. But yeah, hints, tips, that'd be good. There aren't any coming. So, it is warm in here today. It hit 24 in the house yesterday. It's definitely a mistake. I've got my jeans on today. I should have put my shorts on. But I've got all the windows open, so I'm hoping that the phone isn't going to get too hot, because that has been a problem before. Ooh, Belinda has said she made a to-do list at the beginning of lockdown back in March. The problem is that now it's gone on so long that she's having to redo some of the items that she did to begin with. And yes, she's often rejigging the list. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is you can always have a list of things that you want to achieve, and you know, I have what I call big picture items on my to-do list that, you know, are aspirational, or things that involve more people than just me, you know, for Brian and I to do certain things, that kind of stuff. So I do kind of compartmentalize my to-do lists. But yeah, this 70 item list was my work. And like I said, that just wasn't all the big stuff. That was just, you know, survival over the next 2 weeks. So I will check in next Tuesday and tell you how many items are from the original list I have left to do. Potentially I will have added more to that list, but you know, it's all got to be done by a week on Saturday. So that original list has all got to be finished by a week on Saturday. So yeah. Okay. Oh, Chris has said, keep the short jobs on a separate list to do when you can only spare 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah, that's a good plan. That's a good plan. I try and keep everything on one list, as otherwise stuff gets missed. And you know, and in some elements, stuff getting missed means it's probably not that important, but it could be something that, you know, will have a knock-on effect on other things. So for instance, or one of the things on my list was to decide what crafting I'm going to do with you guys today. So and deciding actually doesn't take very long. So that could have been on my short list, but if I hadn't done that, then nothing would have happened today. It would have been a big disaster. So, Jeanette's saying she's very good on her to-do list for work, but as fast as she completes them, she adds more. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's like that porridge pot that never empties, isn't it? It just keeps growing. So, what's Jackie saying? Right. So, what I think Jackie's saying is, instead of looking at the list, actually she needs to just get on with the job, and when the job's done, then you know, it can just take a few minutes. And she puts urgent jobs for the day in the diary. Yeah, so that's how I work, Jackie, pretty much. So I have my big list, and then I have my diary, and I have 3 jobs for the day, my urgent jobs for the day, and then when I've done those, then I add some more. As otherwise I'm forever kind of going back and forwards with the list, and what shall I do next, and you know, but I just get the big things done. Oh, I see, not the list. Okay, so what Jackie's saying is, instead of looking at the sink full of dirty dishes and thinking I need to do that, she just does it and then it's done. Yeah. Hi Daphne, thanks for joining. Hope you guys are okay. I was thinking about you the other day. I drove past where you live, and I just thought, oh, that's where Daphne that's where Daphne lives. Okay, so what do I have to talk to you about today? The Stamping Up promotion is ongoing. There is a joining offer, and you'll hear me say this every single week. It is such a good deal. I never realise or never understand why I have customers, because I think you should all join my team. It is £99 to join if you're in the UK, and you get £130 worth of products, and you get to pick those. And for this month only, there are 2 additional stamp sets that you get, some rhinestones and 16 little kits to make cards, 2 designs, 8 of each. So if you're looking to start a business, it's perfect because you know your prep's done already for your first class, whether that's you know an in-person class potentially, or like me doing classes in the mail, or just making up cards to announce your new business. So it's a really great offer. Do email me or message me if you want some more information. Thank you for joining us, Avis. For those of you that are here live, if you would be kind enough to share the video, the live, I would really appreciate that. You can just click, it should be left of your comments. You should just be able to click and share, and then you'll share it onto your own your personal page. It just means then that other people get to see the video, and hopefully you know join in with some of our creativeness and join the group and have a chat with us too. Hi Anne, she's saying she's late again. Yeah Anne, I was a little bit late too, so it's okay. And Sarah Jane's here as well. Awesome. Okay, so I have a fancy fold card for you today. I love simple cards. You guys know that about me already. I love simple cards, but I also love fancy fold cards. Cards that look way more impressive than they actually are to make. And people go, oh wow, you made that, wow, that's really cool. So that's the kind of card I'm going to make today. I've got a Christmas version that I've made already, and I'm actually going to make a variation of that but suitable for a birthday. It does fold flat to go in an envelope. I will show all of that to you, but I am yeah, oh, and I have got to show you, so this is the card that was on my blog yesterday, and I've had a few questions about it, because I tried to explain what I meant about the die and it cutting the negative space, and a few people weren't quite sure what I meant. So here you go. So this is what the die actually cuts. So I'm just waiting for the camera to catch up with me to see whether or not, yeah, so you can see that. So that is what the die cuts, okay? And what I did was I got a pair of scissors, and I'm just gonna do this a little bit just to show you a little tiny bit, and then what I did was I cut round it. And then so that's how I got that. I'm hoping that makes more sense now. Yeah? Good. Okay. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Actually, I need something to cover you guys over with. Turn the camera around and we will get crafting. Right, I'm going to cover you over just so you don't get seasick. Ooh. And I've got a wire there. Let's have a look. Okay. So, I'm just going to pull this down a bit and check. So I'm using these stamps. So it's called In the Pines. So these are the dies that I used yesterday. and they cut out, and then obviously you've got the stamps as well. And I'm also going to use this stamp set. I'm using the Happy Birthday, which is a grand kid. So what I've actually done so far is I have stamped and then die cut these trees. So I've stamped them in Early Espresso and Mossy Meadow for these two, and then Old Olive for this one, and then I've die cut them just to save a little bit of time. So I'm going to show you the card that I made in advance first, and then I will walk you through it. So I'm going to stand it up so you can actually see how it actually stands. It's called a Bendy card, and these two strips here open and then it goes flat. So you can see this one here, it goes flat in the envelope. Now what I will say is, because this card needs to be put back together again, if you post it, you're going to pop that in there and you're going to pop that in there. What you need to do is put a post-it note on it so they know what to do. So on this card here, can you see I've got a number 1? Actually, I might need to bring that up a bit closer. A number 1 and a number 2. So what I write on the post-it note is put tab number 1 into the back of the card and put tab number 2 into the first curved piece. And then they know exactly what to do. Okay, so are you ready to see how to make this? I'll just pop that there and pop those there. Now, don't worry if you don't catch all the measurements. What I will do is I will edit this video on, actually I'll pop that there so you can still see it. I will edit this video on Facebook and add in the measurements for you. If you're watching this on the replay, so that could be either on YouTube or on my blog, if you just scroll down, you'll see all the measurements there and all the scoring and everything. Okay, so I need my trimmer and some Early Espresso card, and I'm just going to make the base layer, and that is 5 3/4 inches by 4 inches. So that's for the back of the card. I then need 2 strips, and the strips are 6 inches wide. So the important thing to know that you're only going to use 1 sheet of A4 cardstock to make this. So you've got 6 inches wide, so you've got one piece that is 2 inches and one piece that's 1.5 inches. So that's that one and that one. So that's these 2 pieces here. And then we need to cut the background pieces. So, which way round? I'm going to have that as the front. So, these pieces are going to be a 1/4 inch smaller. So we want 1 1/4 inches and 1 3/4 inches. So these pieces are going on the tabs, and then this one is 5.5 by 3 3/4. Okay. So, I think that is all we need for the trimmer for now, apart from we just need to score. So I'm just going to score these at 1/2 inch from each end, and that will make sense in a few minutes making the tabs. Okay. And actually, these are going to be too long. They need to be 5 1/2. Did I cut that wrong? Right, just bear with me a second. I'm just going, what have I done here? So, that's 1/2 inch. Oh, yeah, okay. They need to be 5 inches. Just chat amongst yourselves while I get that measurement right. Oh dear, 4 3/4. Just. Right. Let's try that again, shall we? Okay, so these pieces are 6 inches wide. The patterned paper on the front has got to be 4 3/4 inches wide, look, because you need a little bit of a gap all the way around. Don't worry, I will sort it out on the measurements when I type them up into the into Facebook and into my blog. Okay, right, so let's just sort these pieces out. I've got a little bit of stamping to do, and I need to add a panel on the back, so I will just check. So that needs a 2-inch strip, and I also need to stamp the greeting and put a matten layer on, so I'll just do that as well. Okay, so it has gone quiet in the comments. Is that because you're all rolling your eyes at me because the measurements were wrong, or are you all just being lovely and just waiting until I get there? That's 2 1/4. It's going to be 2 1/4 by 1 inch. I need to trim it twice. Needs a tiny bit more off. There we go. Chris is concentrating. Awesome. Right. So we are just going to trim that down a bit. I'm just, normally with a sentiment I might punch it out, but sometimes you just want something smaller just to perfectly fit around. So that is what I'm going to do here. Ooh, this Tombow feels a little bit light. I have to get a spare one upstairs. Okay. Once you see how quickly this goes together though, you will love it. And it'll be one of those cards that you keep coming back to. Tiny sliver more off. There we go. A little bit off that edge. There we go. Okay, so I've got my little sentiment, and it's matted and layered as well. So I'll move the trimmer out of the way. Just to do my stamping. So, have you guys come across this stamp set before? So, it's called a two-step stamp. So, the way it works is you have an outline image and then an infill image. Now I love that because it means that you can get, so this is this one here, so you can get the outline and then you can infill. But these images can be just used on their own for a background as well. So if you need a forest, don't think that you have to do all detailed trees. Use this as an infill. And I'm hoping that the camera, I might bring it up a bit, actually can see. You've got different shading here, and it's actually a really clever way that Stampin' Up! Have designed the stamp so that you get like more ink in certain spots and it gives it this watercolour wash look. The other thing to know as well is this label is showing the images at 85%. So that is the reality of what that tree is. So I know when somebody tells me that that's 15% smaller than that, I don't kind of get it. It's difficult for me to kind of visualize what it looks like, but that for me really helps that I can see how much bigger it is. Anyway, I will get my mat. So stamping mat, always with photopolymer stamps. So red rubber stamps have a foam layer here, and that's what helps give you the lovely image. Photopolymer stamps don't have foam, so always make sure to stamp on a foam layer. So I'm just going to stamp the trees just to show you how cool these trees are. So and then these, I'm trying not to get my head in the shot. These are like the infill, and it doesn't matter if you miss a little bit, honestly, nobody's going to know. And I love the fact that there's only 3 trees and then 1 tree is still brown, which is really good. Oh, Jackie has said it's got a grounding strip as well, which it has, which is really cool. I hate having things in the air. I like things to be, you know, down on the ground, so that works really well. So there you go. So that's going to be for the back. That's all my stamping done. I'm going to tidy up the ink pads. And tomorrow I'm going to put a picture on my Instagram, which will come here onto Facebook, to show you my new little layout when I was prepping for Craft and Chat. I've got a new chest of drawers for my studio, and it's got, I don't know whether I can actually get that, I might be able to get it under camera, but it's got these removable drawers. I've got like 3 sides. And it's really cool because I can lay everything out, and it's beside me on the desk, and I can just reach across and just get everything. so cool. Right, so let me clear my desk a bit from all the rubbish. Also means then I don't get covered in ink. That'll be the first for everything. So hello to Claire and Hazel and Kerry who've just joined us. Kerry's actually at work and she's having a quick sneaky login to see what we're up to. We're making this card, Kerry. We're making a bendy card. Well, we're not making this card, we're making a birthday variation. Actually, Mum, is Dad watching as well? Let me know. Because if he's not, then this might be his birthday card. But if he is, I've just given the game away. So we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the background first. So this paper is, I don't know what it is. What is it? Let me tell you. My organising didn't go as far as writing down what the paper was called. It is called Forever Greenery. It's this one. It's really, really cool. So that's the back done. Hooray! So Mum's just said, no, Dad's not watching. That's very cool. Because that means that I can make this for his birthday. Which is coming up. Right. Ooh. So we're now going to make the bendy pieces, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this paper up to the top, and then I'm going to get a pair of scissors and just cut a kind of wavy line like that. And the same for this one. So again, lift it right up to the top and just make sure that you've got an even border both sides. And then just again, curve around like so. Now there is, in the die set, there is some wavy edges. And this would be really cool for these as well. So you've actually, these will cut like a snowbank. And they will work for this as well. But I didn't want to bring the cut and emboss upstairs. So I've just done it by hand. But if you don't like cutting by hand, those dies are there. Okay, so now because I moved that paper up to the top, the line is following exactly where it needs to be. Okay, right, so I'm just going to put the decoration bits to one side. Okay, so let me bring this in and let me show you the measurements. So there is a cut. I don't know, I'm hoping that you'll be able to see it. There is a cut here at 4 inches. And there is a cut on this one at 2 inches. And we really need a pencil, which I don't have. But I might have a pen. Hold on while wander away. Yeah. Right, okay. So, we're going to cut a slot here at 4 inches and we're going to cut a slot on here at 2 inches. But the first thing that we need to do is to make these into tabs, these two ends into tabs. So where is that original card? There we go. So let me show you on the back here. So can you see I've trimmed these edges and I've also made these into smaller tabs. So what we're going to do is we're going to work out which bit is going where. So this large piece is going at the back there and that's going that way. And then this piece is going on the top. So that piece is at the back. So does that make sense? So it opens like a book. So what I do is I flip it over so I know that I'm working on the right piece, and I just trim this down a little bit and I put the glue inside and put it down. Now just make sure that everything's straight. So make sure that this edge is all flat and straight and that your score line is wrapping around there. Okay, so that's that one. And then we're going to have this one as well. So that's going on that side. Ah, Claire's on her breaker as well. That's cool. Right. Ooh, thank you for popping in, Claire. So that one goes there, and we're just going to bend it in like that. Right, I'm just going to swap my power cables over because my iPad's about to die, but my phone is okay. Right, okay. So they're at the back, so these pieces flop over there like so, okay? So now we're going to make this tab, we're going to make a small tab there. So I'm going to cut up and then cut into that to make a little tab. Like so. And then the same on this side, we're going to cut to make a little tab. Hi Debbie, you're never late, you're always perfectly when you mean to be there. But thanks for joining. There we go. So I'll just cut a little bit more off there. Okay, so that's the two tabs are done. So now we have got to we've got the sentiment, it's going on the back, and you can do a full width because you can go over the top of these, but I just like just to do a little one. Hazel's finished work, that's good. So I'm just going to pop that there, move it over a little bit. Here we go, so we've got somewhere to write. Now, the last two things that we've got to do. Firstly, we've got to cut the slots, and then secondly, we've got to put our decorations on. So you can do this one of several ways. If you've got a craft knife, a metal ruler and a self-healing mat, you can use that. Or like me, you can use your trimmer. Okay, so the first thing to do is to line this up. So the cut line on here, so this cut line there needs to be 4 inches. It needs to be 4 inches across. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to curve this and line this up on my trimmer so that this piece here is in line with my cutting blade. And I'm just going to draw a little mark just there. And that little mark is the same size as that tab. Okay? And then, in order to cut it, you're just lining it up at the 4 inch. Get your cutting blade. I'm going to have to stand up now and hope that my head isn't in shot. And just move it across so you can actually see the cut line. And then put your blade in. And cut. Okay, so it's probably easier to see. You can see it here. Now sometimes you might need to go over with your scissors, but let's just see if that will slot in there. I think it will. It's just obviously deciding not to today. Hang on. Yeah, okay, so that piece will go in there. Okay, and then the second cut line is on this piece. You can see it there, and that's 2 inches from there. So I'm just going to line that up at 2 inches. And again, I'm just kind of, hang on, let's see if I can do it a different way. That's there. So I'm just, what I want to do is pull this little tab, and it's just not going to bend. I'm going to pull this little tab across like that and like that. Okay, to make my little cut mark. So that's 2 inches from this edge. Now, I've done it this way because I'm using my trimmer. If you want to, you can get your grid paper. Let me just show you how to do it on your grid paper. So if you get your grid paper, and this is your other way of doing it. And so I'm just lining that up there. So I know that that's the 4 inch line. And what you can do is, if you've got a ruler, you can use a ruler, or you can just use another piece of cardstock like this and fold it over and mark it like that. And the benefit of using a ruler or a piece of cardstock here is it kind of holds it. Yeah. And then the same for this one. I now need to cut that piece, so let me just do that. Do. So this piece is going to go in there, and then that piece is going to go in there. Let me just wiggle that in. Yeah, we're all good. Okay, so that's all your trimming done. What you need to do now is encourage these two pieces to bend. So like this one, like this original one. These are really curved. So use your bone folder and run your thumb over the top and just encourage it to curve. Hi Ali, thank you for joining us. Okay, so now this piece is going to slot into there. Do-do-do. And this piece is going to slot into there. And there you go. Just tick that back like that. Okay. So now all we need to do, I just need to pull that through a little bit more. All we need to do now is put the decorations on. So let me get them. And I tend to decorate it when it's curved like this. And the reason for that is so that I can kind of position it where I want it to be on kind of the way that the ground is kind of undulating. So I'm going to put a little bit there. And I want to put that tree just there. And then I'm going to put these little trees here. I'm getting a bit of my iPad is having a funny 5 minutes. So if you are still here and I'm still live, can you just send me a message or give me some hearts or something so I know that you guys are still with me, even though I'm going to have to come out of Facebook and go back in again and see if that works. Oh, right. Okay. Good. Okay, so Jack is saying we're all fine. Roz is saying still with me, so that's good. Okay, so that's 2 sets of trees. And just put this last tree in. Oh, I like that idea, Chris. Chris is saying that she thinks that this would be a great project with some of the animal stamps. Yes, indeed. Right. So, a couple of tips to know with this. Make sure that your elements aren't any higher than the background, as otherwise it won't fit in your envelope. Make sure they're not hanging out too far over the edge for the same reason. You don't want it to get squashed on in the envelope. Anne said snowmen. Yeah, snowmen would be really cool. So I am going to put my happy birthday just there. I'm actually going to curve this as well to make sure that it will stand on there, and just get some dimensionals. There we go. Yes, Debbie, definitely you mail it flat, and I'll go over that in a second. I have, yeah, you do put instructions on it, because otherwise it won't, they won't know how to put it together, which would be sad. Right, let me just move this. So, there you go. So there is the birthday card all finished, and I'll kind of tilt it so you can kind of see the dimension. Let me put the lid back on my Tombow. So yeah, and I think because it's going to be for my dad, I'm going to put Dad here. So we'll just have to stop him from looking at my blog tomorrow. Okay, so to answer Debbie's question, would you mail this flat? Yes, definitely. So what I do is, let me just untuck this. I had an envelope. Yeah, I've got an envelope. So this will go in an envelope flat. Okay, so there's no problem there with it going together. And then what I've done is I've put a number 2 on that flap and a number 1 on that flap. And what I do is I stick a post-it note on the top of the card, and it says, put tab number 1 into the slot on the back of the card, and then put tab number 2 into the strip at the front of the card, and then it's really, really easy. And it's such an easy card, but it works so well. And like I said at the beginning, I love cards that look as though it's taken you a really, really, really long time to make them. But the reality is, actually, they're not that difficult. There are a few measurements, but there's not very much cardstock. You're not using lots of layers. And for those of you thinking about posting, it's not actually very heavy. And, you know, for UK rates, it would have to go large letter because it's a bit thicker. But, you know, it's not very heavy. So it would just go like for a standard stamp. So does anyone have any questions about how this card goes together, or do you want me to just go over anything else while I slurp my tea? We've already had suggestions about using animal stamps or snowmen. What other things could we put on these bendy cards? Whilst I'm drinking my peppermint tea. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Oh, that's a good idea, Jackie. Putting flowers on it and using like the gate set. I think it's Grace's Garden. That would look really nice. That would look really nice as well. I do think that it works particularly well for like a scene. So you've got kind of dimension there. So yeah, so flowers and trees. I've got quite a few different tree sets at the moment. Oh, dinosaurs look good. Oh, yes. Awesome. Actually, the cats and dogs, so playful pets set, that would look really nice with this as well. That would work too. Awesome. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so Jackie's going to have a go at that with Grace's Garden for her aunt's birthday. Fab. That would be really cool. Okay, well, if you've not got any questions, then I will love you and leave you for today and let you get on with the rest of your Tuesday. Do please go over to my Inspiring Inking Crafting Corner group, which is on Facebook, and join us there. And we share lots of different creative inspiration. It's not just paper crafting and card making, it's all sorts. Lots of different crafts, and you'll be able to find some new friends to hang out with in our virtual world. What else do I have to say? Oh, remember about the joining offer. If you're interested, please email me. It always gets busy at the end of the month, at the end of a promotion. So it's always a good plan to think about it. And if you've got questions, then I am very happy to answer them for you. I will be back here next Tuesday at 2. Do, in the meantime, get sending some of those cards, get sending some happy post out there, because we all need that. It's a really good lift, just to know that somebody's thinking about you. Right, let's have a look. I'm just checking for more messages. Chris is going to try it with the meerkats. So the meerkats were a celebration stamp set. That's a really cool, Chris. Make sure you share that in the Crafting Corner group. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Hazel. Thank you, Chris. And thank you, Ross. And Jackie. And Anne. Ooh, Jeanette. Good night. So Jeanette is off. Oh, Hazel. Great plan. Whales or dolphins? And Daphne's saying she loves making bendy cards, and I've given her a few new ideas. That's awesome. That is why I am here every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, because I just like hanging out with you guys. It's been the strangest of worlds, and I really do appreciate you coming and hanging out with me on a Tuesday afternoon. So thank you for spending the time with me and all our other friends here in this virtual world. Okay, so thank you so much. I will see you all next week. Take care till then. Goodbye.